Good morning everyone. So as of now we have discussed about Bohr's atomic model. So how the assumptions made by the Bohr's. Okay. So now see here, Bohr has taken a hydrogen atom. First of all, Bohr's taken the hydrogen atom and he has explained a complete assumptions about the hydrogen atom. Okay, he has applied that assumptions to this hydrogen atom. So first of all, in hydrogen atom, how many electrons are there? Only one electron is there for the hydrogen atom. So here there is a nucleus of positively charged. This is a nucleus and this is an electron. Okay, the electron which consisting of negative charge. The negatively charged electron is revolving around the positively charged nucleus here. So here already told you, according to Bohr's model, the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a circular orbit because of the balance forcing between the electrostatic force and the centrifugal force. Okay, there is a balance between the electrostatic force and the centrifugal force, and always this force is towards the nucleus. Here always this force towards the nucleus. Because of that force only, the electrons are revolving around the nucleus in a circular orbits. And again, why the electrons does not falls inside of the nucleus after some time? Because there is the quantization of angular momentum, and the quantization of, because of the quantization of angular momentum only, the electrons are not falling inside of the nucleus. So see here I am writing. Okay, Nana. So the statement is what? The electrostatic force balances the centrifugal force. Now write the electrostatic force value. It is E square by 4 pi epsilon naught r square is equals to centrifugal force mv square by r. So here I am writing here Rn. Here for hydrogen n is equals to 1. Okay, n is equals to 1 for hydrogen, but I am writing Rn here. So this is what the formula. So here take Rn, 1 r cancel, and E square by 4 pi epsilon naught Rn is equals to mv square. So take it as equation number 1. Okay, this is what, because of the circular orbit only, the electrostatic force balances the centrifugal force. And the next point is what, Nana? Next point is quantization of angular momentum. Okay, next point is quantization of orbital angular momentum is quantized, or quantization of orbital angular momentum. So here mvrn, here I am taking mvr is equals to integral multiple of h cross, that is n into h cross, integral multiple of h cross times, this is the angular momentum value, quantization of angular momentum. Here h cross is equals to what, Nana? H by 2 pi. This can also be written as mvrn is equals to nh by 2 pi. Okay, this is what the quantization of angular momentum. Let us take this as equation number 2. Okay, next what is the next point? The electromagnetic radiations. Already I told you, whenever which electron is having higher energy, it will move from ground state to higher energy states. Okay, which electron is having higher energy, it will move from ground state to excited state. Okay, whenever the electron is moving from ground state to excited state, then the electron is stay up to 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds because of the lifetime. The lifetime of the excited state is 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds. After 10 to the power of minus 8 seconds, the electron come back to its original position. Electron will come back to its original position by releasing the radiation. Okay. Then in this case what will happen? The electromagnetic radiations are emitted by the electrons. Okay, this is what the radiation. Why I am calling it as electromagnetic radiation? Means it is a light. It is in the form of light. The electromagnetic radiations are emitted if an electron transmitted from stationary orbits, that is from higher energy level to the lower stationary orbit of lower energy level. For example, the electron is moving from E1 to E2. Okay, the electron is moving from E1 to E2. Then in this process what will happen? Whenever the electron reaching the excited state electron come back to its original position, it will release the radiation. Okay, so the equation given by Bohr, that is E2 minus E1, the difference of two energy states E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu. Okay, h nu. There must be something value, that value is E2 minus E1 is equals to h nu. Okay, this is the assumptions made by the Bohr. Now coming to the radius. What is the radius of the orbit? I would like to calculate the radius of the orbit. So for that I need the equation number 2. Okay, let us consider this is the equation number 3. Okay, now see here I am going to calculate what is the radius of this orbit. So for that I need this equation. From equation number 2, can I write the value of V here? From this equation number 2, V is equals to NH by 2 pi mRn, right? mRn, take it in the denominator. Then next let us consider this as equation number 4. Now substitute equation number 4 in equation number 1, that is V is equals to this one, that is substitute equation number 4 in equation number 1. Okay, now see, after substituting it, this is the value. Now simplify it. E square by 4 pi epsilon Rn is equals to m n square h square by 4 pi square m square r n square. Here m gets cancelled, 1 Rn gets cancelled, 4 gets cancelled, pi gets cancelled. Then finally what is there? Here I am writing Rn to the left side because I want the radius of the orbit. 1 Rn is left, no? So I am taking this 1 Rn to the left hand side. So Rn is equals to here n square h square, take epsilon naught this side, epsilon by here 1 pi there, 1 m there, and next here e square comes to the denominator. So n square h square epsilon naught by pi m e square. This is what the radius of the orbit. Let us consider this as equation number 5. Okay, so here the radius of the orbit is directly proportional to the principal orbital number, that is Rn is directly proportional to n square. For example, it is hydrogen atom. Now for example, if n is equals to 1, what is the value of n is equals to 1? Substitute in this case R1 is equals to n is equals to 1, okay, h square epsilon naught by pi m e square. So after substituting all these values, already you know what is the Planck's constant? H is equals to 6.625 into 10 to the power of minus 34 joule second, right? What is the value of epsilon naught? Epsilon naught value is 8.85 into 10 to the power of minus 12 Newton per meter square. Okay, see here m is pi value already you know, there is 3.14, and what is the value of m? M is the mass of the electron, that is 9.1 into 10 to the power of minus 31 kg. And what is the electron charge? Electron charge is 1.6 into 10 to the power of minus 19 coulomb. So after substituting all these values in this equation, you will get the value, that is R1 is equals to 0.529 angstroms. 1 angstrom is equals to already you know 10 to the power of minus 10 meters. Okay, so R1 value is 0.529 angstroms. This is what the Bohr's radius. This is also called as Bohr's radius. This is also called as Bohr's atomic radius, and this is purely for the hydrogen atom. Now I would like to calculate the velocity of the electron. Already I calculated the radius. Next, velocity of the electron. Okay, Nana, for the velocity, already I having V is equals to NH by 2 pi mRn. So if I substitute just the value of radius in this equation, then I will get the velocity of the electron. Okay. See here, we know that from equation number 4, V is equals to NH by 2 pi mRn, and just now we have calculated the value of Rn, that is n square h square epsilon by pi m e square. Now you substitute the value of Rn in this equation, that is V is equals to NH by 2 pi m. Rn value is n square h square epsilon naught by pi m e square. Okay. Now NH gets cancelled to each other. Pi m gets cancelled. Then finally what is the value? It is e square coming to the numerator, e square by 2. Here there is n h epsilon naught. This is V is equals to e square by 2 n h epsilon naught. Okay, this is, let us consider equation number 6. Okay, so we have calculated as of now, that is radius and velocity. Now coming to the next point, this is second one. Next one is energy of the electron. How to calculate the energy of the electron? Already you know that energy is a combination of kinetic energy and potential energy. Okay, it is the total energy is a combination of kinetic energy plus potential energy. So first I would like to calculate the potential energy. Okay, so potential energy, how to calculate the potential energy? Already I told you from the diagram. Potential, okay, so potential energy is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into E by Rn. Okay, now the potential energy is given. Okay, Nana, see here the potential energy between the potential energy of the electron. I would like to calculate the potential energy of the electron. It is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into Q1 Q2 by R. Okay, so here Q1 means potential energy means only the distance between the electron and the positron, that is electron and the nucleus, that is distance is Rn. So here positive E into negative E by Rn. So now it is 1 by 4 pi epsilon naught into minus E square by Rn. This is what my potential energy. Now coming to the kinetic energy. Okay, what is kinetic energy formula, Nana? Half mv square, already you know. Now substitute the value of velocity in this equation. Substitute half m, v means what? E square by 2nh epsilon naught whole square. Okay, now simplify it. M e power 4 by 2 into 2 square. 2 square means 8. 4 into 2, 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. This is what, Nana? Kinetic energy. Now you have to calculate the total energy. Total energy value is kinetic energy plus potential energy. Okay, after substituting kinetic energy and potential energy in this equation, this is the equation. So here I would like to substitute the value of Rn here. So see here, m e power 4 by, okay, see here this value is as it is, and here it is minus E square by 4 pi epsilon naught. Here I am substituting the value of Rn here. Okay, now you just simplify, pi gets cancelled. Then next simplify and take m e power 4 by 8 n square h square epsilon naught as it is, minus take m e square to the numerator, that is m e power 4, e square into e square, e power 4 by n square h square epsilon naught square. Here epsilon naught into epsilon naught, h epsilon naught square. Now here we are having epsilon naught square into, here it is there 4. Okay, 4. Now see, in these two values there is a common term, that is m e power 4 by n square h square epsilon naught square. Sorry, it is epsilon naught square. See here, epsilon naught square, epsilon naught square common. Here what is there? 1 by 8 minus 1 by 4. Okay, okay, see here, now after simplification this is 4 minus 8 by, so here it is 4 minus 8 by 8 4s are 32. Okay, and here it is 4 minus 8 means minus 4 by 32. 4 how many is 8s are, so it is minus 1 by 8. So here minus m e power 4 by 8 n square h square epsilon naught square. This is what total energy equation. But already we know that the energy value is not in negative, but here negative sign represents what? The electron is revolving around the nucleus because of the attraction force. So the negative sign indicates that the nucleus, the electron is bound to the nucleus because of the attraction force. This negative sign indicates the attractive force. And next, okay, Nana, as of now we have discussed about the radius, velocity and next energy. Okay, these are the three terms we have discussed in this video. In the next video we are going to discuss about the different energy levels. Means if you substitute n is equals to 1, if you substitute n is equals to 2, what happened to the energy. Okay, thank you.